Well, another episode of Honest Beers is done and dusted. It was a great episode, and you need to watch this one and you need to listen to it because I called 3 businesses because I lost the Honest Beers Cup. So you need to find out how I went. What else can the audience look forward to?
Well, Leggy, I've got an honest list of things that annoy me that shouldn't, and I'm going to try and be a better person, but let's be honest, probably not.
So make sure you subscribe to YouTube. Make sure you listen to us on Spotify and tune in every week. Welcome to Honest Beers. My name is Leggy, and as always, I'm joined by Wally. How are you, mate?
I'm very well, mate.
Well, you should be very well, coming fresh off your second Honest Beers Cup win, 2 years in a row.
Yeah.
I've had to do something.
Yeah, 2 years in a row, absolutely. It's there is a drive element, membership, sponsorship drive element to these bets, isn't there?
There is.
But good for you as a Hawks member as well to get the chockies, mate.
Yeah.
But I'm just wrapped because we are through all the bye rounds and we're into a heap of footy. Some of the crossover and overlap stuff did my head in. It's all right. We're not going to talk about that. We're going to look positively. And yeah, I'm looking forward. We're going to get to the Honest Beers Cup. There's a lot to discuss on the Saturday. It was a great night.
Yeah, we'll get through. We'll definitely talk about that. Our experience at the game, everything that happened.
Your punishment,
my punishment, which we're going to also do later on in the show. So make sure you stay tuned. I've got to say as well off the top, Michael, subscribe to YouTube. We need to get everyone subsubscribing on YouTube so you can watch when I do. I'm actually a little bit petrified of these cold calls.
Just to clarify as well, he's calling he's cold calling or warm calling 3 businesses to gain sponsorship for Honest Beers.
Yeah, so that's
officially the most we've ever done to try and get the show sponsored.
Yeah, first time I've ever drawn a sweat for on that front. So definitely tune in for that. But you did mention AFL news because there was, I guess, the remnants of a story that broke yesterday about a mid-season tournament, and there was a lot of negativity.
Yeah,
You don't agree with it?
I heard a little bit more. So the discussion some of the chatter coming through now is if they look at something when we get to a 19-team competition, that every team would play each other once.
That's good.
So you're playing 9 home, 9 away.
Great.
And you alternate each year. I'm embellishing on how this could work.
Yeah.
Then it goes. You go home and away.
Yep.
So the
That's
fixture's
fair.
even 9 and 9. You have gather round.
Yep.
Where we all go to Adelaide and we go. We're happy to go to Adelaide.
Yep.
We're all
nothing changes there.
We're all
we'll still
playing
drink a lot of
away
beers.
apart from Adelaide and Port Adelaide.
Yep.
That's fine. They get it. They're hosting it. I don't think anyone's against. It's the greatest weekend on the sporting calendar, bar none.
Sure.
Bar none. Then you have a rivalry round, and that's 20 games, which is a perfect season. Here's the cool thing about rivalry round. There's no travel.
Yeah.
So you've got Perth, you've got Adelaide, you've got an hour difference between Gold Coast and Brisbane, an hour difference, and they can alternate each year who gets the but I mean they would, just what I'm saying, they'd have one each. It doesn't matter. It's the bottom line is that no one's gonna have to travel. The only thing I was thinking about with this before I moved to how I think it can work is the 10 Vic teams. What would the rivalries be?
So I reckon you've got to have Hawthorn Geelong because that's a modern one that's going really well.
Agree.
You've probably got to have Carlton Collingwood.
The big 4 have to play each other, and would you have Essendon, Richmond, and it's the Dreamtime game in the rivalry
I wouldn't
round.
have thought about that, but now that you say it makes sense. Where it gets trickier though is who do you find a rivalry for Melbourne? A rivalry for this?
Is it?
You know, historically, Saints and North have played in a rivalry round before, which didn't really make a lot of sense. But I reckon you could have Saints and the Dogs, 2 very similar teams. Played in prelims.
They were both good in the late 90s. They were both good in the mid to late 2000s. Yep. They played in that. They were the.
So maybe it's Saints Dogs. So that's what.
And then Melbourne, North Melbourne.
Yeah, the 2 teams that wanted to merge with other teams, Cup.
Yeah, the 2. Yeah, we want to merge, but no one wants to merge with this Cup.
Yeah.
But that's what, I don't think North Melbourne actually wanted to merge, did they? Melbourne wanted to merge.
Yeah, they did.
Desperately in 1996. They tried to merge.
I reckon some North people wanted to
go.
I reckon
I reckon North is the no. Everyone's trying to
relocate us, but we want to stay.
Yep. North Melbourne fans.
You're saying they've got more backbone than the D's, is that what you're saying?
More shin bone, apparently.
Okay.
So then the rivalries are sorted out. Then you're going to need to, for TV rights, because we know 7 run it all, because the fact that we've got 315 games now instead of 320, just to make sure it's done for the news. Why not make it 310 and have like a nice 10 minutes afterwards with the song and stuff? Do you know why? Because they're too worried that people will lose interest in that space and come out in the news. They want it finishing on the dot.
Yeah, I know.
Anyway, what we then do is that have a mid-season.
Yeah.
Just have it. But it becomes part of the fabric of the game. The only thing is, what does that structure look like? I'm not suggesting that necessarily I'm not suggesting that if you win, you get a place in the 8. But maybe you do because, or you get to, logically, if you win that tournament, you're probably going to be finishing in the 8 anyway.
Yes and no, though. I mean, like the Bucks won the NBA Cup.
Very different.
I know they were a playoff
very
team.
Very different. There's 82 games. There's a small amount of them in this season.
I feel like making the 8's a good incentive, though, because it does make teams.
Okay.
Because even if but I guess if you're a really good team.
This is where the problem starts coming.
Yeah.
Okay. So you make the 8.
But if you're Geelong, you don't need that.
What if Geelong win it?
Yeah, they don't need that.
You can't go down, it's the second, it's the third, it's the fourth. I would think it's only this. Would you go the team that wins it goes into a play-in with the highest ranked team outside, so 9th or 10th, depending on where you finish. And if the team who wins that tournament is already in the finals, 9 and 10 playoff. So it's essentially going there. Yes, you will get a chance to play in the finals. You will definitely get a chance to play in the finals. But regardless, we're going to have a play-in because I think you have to have that locked in.
Yeah.
Mate, to be honest, I'm kind of okay with it. At the moment, there's so much shit going on with the game, whether it's the umpiring, from the bounce of the ball to the getting things wrong to just like it's all a bit ridiculous. And the fixturing and all of these things. What this would do is this cleans it up. Nobody could complain because it'd be even fair competition every year. All the teams have played the same amount of home and away games. We'd still have gather round. And let's have a proper rivalry round.
Agreed.
Like proper rivalry round. Let's make it a big thing. And that can change over time as rivalries change.
Yeah.
But it is rivalry round. I think that's it. Do you know what else it would do? Is it would actually it would help drive the Q Clash even more. Yep. I think the Battle of the Bridge have done a great. GWS have driven all of that, by the way. They've driven that rivalry. Sydney Pompers always like, we just beat them. It's not a rivalry. We don't care about them. Maybe you should care about them because you don't seem to give a shit about anything when it comes to footy, apart from it's cool to go. I've been there, mate. They don't watch the fucking game. Anyway, there's a small group of South Melbourne fans that are 100%, and this, I'm excluding them because they are like passionate as they come. There are so many people up there that just do not give a shit and just go because it's a cool thing to do. So would help grow like the Melbourne-North Melbourne rivalry. Why wouldn't that be a rivalry? Melbourne-North Melbourne, like, it's an inner city rivalry. I mean, Arden Street to Punt Road, it's not far. To the G's, not far. Like, you could do that. You guys versus the Dogs, keep that going. Then you look at all of this and you go, okay, so the fixture is cool. It's a great fixture for the year. We just need to know what that mid-season tournament looks like. I think because could probably only be 3 or 4 games, can't it?
It can't be more than that because all of a sudden you're playing too many games in the season. It's already a long enough season as it is.
Do you go? Does it instantly? There'll be 19 teams, wouldn't there? There'd be 19 teams.
Or as if Tassie come in.
If Tassie come in, because that's when they're going to do it. So do you, and I don't know how you bracket it up, but it's almost got to be like the 2 teams either side of you play. That makes sense?
Yeah.
And they work it out, but it just becomes a little uneven and messy. That's the problem they're going to have.
That's good. I think you've made.
I think that there's something here.
It's good because a lot of the chatter has been, fucking here we go. So it's good that you've brought a different.
Well, I'm saying let's use this to fix the season. And if we've got to have that tournament to get the extra games for the broadcasters, we'll do it.
Well, you don't want to be a little shitty add-on or even like a
20-game season,
an average thing like AFLX, which was it can't be gimmicky
because Origin's not going to work.
It can't be.
Origin is one injury to a quality player from not working. And then people go, we don't want our players playing. I already don't want Hawthorn players playing Origin. This is not New South Wales, Queensland. That is Origin. That is where players care more about that than winning, like, for their club. Like, it's not going to happen.
That was good.
All right.
We need to move on to what everyone really is worried about, and that's the Honest Beers Cup. Well, on Saturday night.
The Honest Beers Cup.
So
before we get to the result, let's talk about our night.
I just want to say congratulations.
Thank you.
For winning it. Obviously needed to just continue to cement that top 8 spot and even home final now. I think you guys might be 5th after that win, something like that. So obviously congratulations on that. Our dining experience, we need to give a few shout outs here because we were very, very lucky to be sitting. Well, I was very, very lucky. For you, it was just another normal week.
Oh, I settled
to be sitting behind the glass in the Medallion Club. Not only in the Medallion Club, but we were in the Stoke Grill, which is new this year. It's a dining experience on centre wing of Marvel. Like, you can't get much better than that when you're behind the glass, let me tell you.
And look, jokes aside, I haven't been there before. I have
You haven't been to that particular restaurant. Yeah, but
exactly. So it was a real treat.
You've dined in the Medallion Club before. No, really, really good experience in terms of that A+. The game itself probably wasn't as good for neutrals and for our partners that went along. It wasn't the most exciting game.
They did not care.
Although there was a little bit of stuff that happened during the game that, some individual performances that were good. But yeah, in terms of the game itself, it was a bit of a scrap. But plenty happened with us. One thing I wanted to talk about, we got into an argument with a Freo fan about Ross Lyon at one point.
I couldn't believe it. He called me uneducated and idiot. It was like, no.
He said uneducated and unintelligent, which, so can I just say, I just want to set the scene here. Unbelievable stuff. The way that we were sitting, this guy was behind Wally and he was making some comments about Ross Lyon.
I just had enough.
But people would have thought that if Ross Lyon is being criticised, that I would be the one to jump in, but you just decided to take on this for Ross.
Can I be honest? I thought this was going to be one of those scenarios where you turn around and go, come on, mate, you're being unfair. Yeah. Ross is a great coach. And then the two tables start to banter and all have fun. Didn't go like that. Didn't happen.
He threw
it was
out
more heated. Ooh. He was talking about how like bad Ross was. And I said, well, look, you can't tell me he's like one of the worst coaches. And then I gave a couple of examples. He didn't like that I was trying to justify. And then and then you got involved in the discussion. And it was genuine discussion and debate.
Yeah, it was nothing. There was nothing.
But it was just ridiculous. The discussion was ridiculous. If you are a Fremantle fan, he is your best coach. There is no gap.
Yeah.
There is a massive gap. It's not close. There is no comparison.
Well, so the reason why I got involved was because he called you uneducated. And I was like, that was the only personal comment. A lot of it was all very respectful. It was just football debate.
Oh, we were very respectful.
And then to your point about Fremantle's success, I think I might have said, who was that one coach that took Freo to the grand final, the only grand final in their history? So I can't remember who that was.
Ross Lyon, it's not his fault that they went down to Geelong with a game plan that beat Geelong at Geelong with the greatest pressure we've ever seen in a final for Freo. Then it's not their fault. It's not his fault that Fife and the rest of them forgot how to kick in the grand final. Kicked themselves out early. Also, they're up against the team that should have won the year before. That was their first year of a three-peat, one of the best sides we've seen. Then he goes St Kilda. The bounce of the ball the wrong way in one, and just a bit of luck with a toe bang and all these bits. He has set them up. He could have. I don't think anyone was beating Hawthorn. They were so determined to win that year and grind it out after losing the year before. But he could be he probably should be a 2-time premiership
at the very least
coach.
One. Yeah.
So at the very least one. And was everybody, do you know what I don't like? Everybody complained about the game style and how it's boring, it's low scoring. Which A, it wasn't. It was St Kilda games in 2009 were exciting. But B, if you're complaining about the game style, then you're complaining about the coach. And to take them to back-to-back grand finals, then you can say it's boring. You can say you don't like it, but you also have to give him his flowers and go, the guy can coach.
Yeah.
So that's the thing. You can't have both.
I think the point as well is that there's two at the moment. There's a top 9 and a bottom 9. There's 18 clubs. I think if you looked at who's in the top 9 coaches, who's in the bottom 9 coaches, he's in the top 9. And I think that's the only point that we were trying to make. This guy was trying to say that he was a bottom 5 coach.
I said, look, you can't. Yeah, exactly.
Anyway, we move on from that. But very funny. I found.
Can I just say as well, Stoke, Scotty Fitz.
Yeah, shout
Fitzy, our man. Thank you for having us. And
may never be back again after the Freo fan
whiskey
argument.
cart.
Yeah, there's a whiskey cut. Which
they have a whiskey. I got a photo with the cart.
I've got some photos. We need to.
I requested a photo. I was like, and she goes, oh, okay, yep.
Yeah.
I said, I'd like a photo with the cart. She goes, okay, we can do that.
It's very good.
It's very good.
Well, yeah, shout out to definitely anyone that wants to. If you're not really going to the footy to consume all of it, and you want to have that dining experience, you got to do it.
They have nailed it now. Marvel dining better than MCG dining. MCG is the cold cinema, but Marvel. I'm telling you now. What they do with concerts, what they do at this venue, it is actually a cracking venue.
Yep.
But the thing is, they've also got Leho Fook, which we'll go to next time.
Yeah, very good.
So Leho Fook is behind the goals. I think that's more of a eat than go out to your seat.
Yeah, you're not really watching the game from there unless you just want to smash cocktails, which is also good. Now, Waller, this is the moment everyone's been waiting for. We know that there was the second annual Honest Beers Cup held on Saturday night. The Saints and the Hawks. It was at Marvel. We were there. We had a bet placed. It was the line bet, 18.5.
Yep.
If the Hawks covered, you were going to have to do this. You were going to have to cold call a few businesses and try and get some sponsorships across the line. Unfortunately, the Hawks won by 20 points, so I lost. And now I have to try and do a live sponsorship drive on Honest Beers, which we've never done before.
We haven't. I'm excited for you.
I don't know if I'm excited. I'm glad that you're excited.
I'm here. I'm going to be. do you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to let you go for the first one, and then I'm going to come in with some advice if needed.
I'm going to need that.
But I got full faith in you. Now, in fairness, I'm not across. Who is our cold call list?
So the first person I'm going to call, and look, the full transparency here. We record before work on a Tuesday morning. So I'm hoping that we get them on their commute on the way into work.
Who doesn't have a marketing call at breakfast time?
Well, yeah, they could be that, or they could, it's still pre 8 a.m. They could still be at home. But we've got Tim from Bay Juice, who we've done a bit of work with before, been on the pod, bit of a loose individual.
I know, but
I'm worried that he answers the phone and says, "How are you?" something, and then says something that gets him cancelled. Hopefully not.
Well, we'll edit that out.
Hopefully
we'll look
not.
Up to me. But the thing is that so that is brave because we could have gone to cold business. The fact that we know them and we're matey with them is it's almost like
you're gonna fucking do it or what?
Why the fuck are you asking us for money? Dink.
Yeah. Well, there's that, right?
Or whatever, however you're going to position it. Yeah.
So strategically, I've gone with two businesses that have a synergy with Honest Beers, and then one that's a massive organisation. So Bay Juice, obviously, as I just mentioned, synergy. The other one, Mount Erica, we've been there before. They've also got a few other pubs in their group.
They do it. Actually, that's
Rising
not a bad
Sun.
shout. Actually,
It doesn't have to be the Mount Erica. So
No.
I've got Jace from there, who's a good man, and then the last one is Tom Connolly's at Chemist Warehouse, who's a friend of ours. He's in the partnerships team, so he's actually looking at new partnerships, new sponsorships.
Chemist Warehouse.
I don't know how I'm going to pitch Chemist Warehouse. I might say something along the lines of, hangover cures and Panadol, or I don't know, maybe it's skincare products or something like that. I actually have no idea.
I don't know. Well, I hope you've got some. Have you got
Band-Aids and bandages?
Have you got like a Wolf of Wall Street style script, or are you going to just back yourself?
I'm going to back myself. I've got a few dot points listed, but I'm pretty much just going to back myself in. I don't think these phone calls are going to go for too long. I reckon it's just...
Hi, Tim. Something's just come across my desk.
Something has come across my desk.
And it is the best opportunity I have seen in 6 months.
Yeah. So I guess we should probably call
do it.
We should probably call the first person.
I'm excited.
All right.
It's all you. And now, I'm not going to talk on this because we need to be professional.
They know that
true.
They're going to know that they're on Honest Beers.
But it's me yelling across the room. I think that this is you. You lost the bet, mate.
That's true.
I'm 1,000% excluding myself from this. You lost the bet. But I will give advice. Let's go.
Let's give him a call. I'll put it on speaker so we can hear it. Here we go.
Post 2010.
Leggy!
Oh, Tim. How you doing, mate?
How are you, sir? What's cracking?
Mate, I'm well. I just look, I want to get straight to the point. You're on Honest Beers.
Hold on, long time listener, first time caller.
Well, you've been on before. You've been on Honest.
No, I've always wanted to say that before.
Yeah. Well, you've been on Honest Beers. We've had you on before. But look, I know you love Honest Beers. Of course you love Honest Beers. That's why I'm talking.
Do.
That's why I'm talking to you, Tim, because I think I've got a can't miss opportunity here that I just don't think you could say no to.
Go on.
So, look, I lost a bet over the weekend, and now I'm having a call to get some potential sponsors on because we haven't actually managed to ever get a sponsor on Honest Beers. And I don't know whether that's because we're a little bit too lazy or whatever it might be. But There's so many synergies between Honest Beers and Bay Juice. I mean, like we're almost in causation from your business. Like if
Causation? I'll get my thesaurus out.
If there were no Honest Beers, there'd be no Bay Juice required. So I feel like if people are listening to our show and they're having a few and then they need some Korean pear juice the next morning, you guys are the ones to deliver that. And I was wondering whether there was an opportunity to maybe integrate some segments and get some kind of sponsorship momentum going with the Bay Juice crew. Is that something that you reckon you could help us out with?
I like it, Leggy. Firstly, you definitely lost your bet because something to do with St Kilda, surely.
Yeah, look, it was.
Yeah, they're not a very good team. They're not very good, are they?
No. That's it.
I'll go for D's. But, mate, honestly, Liam, who's the head of finances,
he'll
kill me he'll kill me if I say yes to something exponentially financial. But we've got so much stock away. Why don't we give away a fuck ton of products over a segment to kick things off, to dip the toe in, as you may say.
Look,
and maybe we could give away a slab of Bay Juice every week on the show to someone in some form of segment. What do you reckon?
That is, Dad. That is a great idea. Like a slab is unbelievable, especially our audience because they're all pissheads like we are. So I think. Matt, I've got one other thing to say. So there's a positive and a negative. The positive is thank you so much. I reckon we can lock that in. That's better than I ever imagined. Secondly, why the fuck is Liam in finance for you? He seems like the least responsible person out of the two-man team.
Let's just say between us and every single listener, we've had those credit cards cut up in front of us.
Oh, wow. Okay, well. Now
he's the most responsible.
So you're are you asset rich but cash poor, and that's why you can't quite give us anything?
The definition of, even though I'm driving my mum's car, so I'm not really asset rich personally, but it's okay.
Yeah, but look, mate, I appreciate you actually answering your phone. I thought there was a chance you were still at Revolver or something like that, but thankfully...
Hey, I'm a good boy now.
Oh, good boy now. Okay, well, that's good. Yeah. Mate, appreciate it. Let's tee up some merch. What's some merch? Let's tee up some products.
Give Wally a big kiss for me.
Yeah, will do, mate. Thank you. I'll talk to you later.
Hey, legend. Love you.
Good, man. Bye.
That is a better result than I could have expected.
That was
so
unbelievable.
The first one is a collab.
Yep.
Contra deal. So that is a great start. All right. So, mate, there was a nice mix of some sales speak because people like the cheesy stuff.
Yeah.
But what I would say is that off the bat, straight away, you want to be going with him. So you don't want to be saying you're doing this, I'm doing. You don't want to ever have a counter argument.
Yeah.
You want to mirror the buyer, Simon. So that's very, very important. You control the conversation and you mirror the buyer. They're two key things that you got to know early.
I did see your hands kind of. You're like, go with him.
And then if you go with him, you will be able to steer that in the right direction. If it's like. If a jockey's riding a horse and fighting the horse over races, it's no good.
Yeah.
If you're going with the horse and you're just flowing, you can take that horse wherever you want it to go.
Yep.
So you need to mirror the buyer and then you can take them into the areas of the conversation you want them to go.
That's good.
Yeah,
that's really
very,
good.
very good.
Next one I'm going to go with Tom from Chemist Warehouse.
This is a big one. So we're shooting for the stars here.
I'm unsure how I'm going to play it.
Okay. I said I'd give advice post-call. I'll give you a piece of advice pre-call. Mm-hmm. You should know what you're going to say before you make a sales call. That is traditionally.
Did you ever make one and not know?
Oh,
surely there are a few where you're a bit dusty and you're like, I'm just going to call up this bloke and see what happens.
Yeah.
Surely.
You're going back a long time. But no, look, it is, mate, it's pretty... There's times you get caught up in it, but it is pretty like brutal.
Yeah.
Because you're just hitting. But you kind of, like the muscle memory of what you're going to say is there. But, mate, I had plenty of, I think I got home at 5:30 once and I was up at 7 for work.
Wow.
And that happened more than once, but I remember that was the hour and a half sleep was one, and then going in and putting a day on the phones.
Yeah, I'm just trying to match the energy, so I'll see where Tom takes me, and then we'll go from.
Yeah, but just again, it's you to drive him. So you really in this scenario should have something you want to sell, not just go, "Hey mate, how are you?" So yeah, that worked brilliantly.
Yeah,
but I think you've started with the softball. There is no doubt that Tim is going to be the most.
Yeah, he's such an up and about guy. I could have called him at any time, at any point, and he would have just been like,
and he's a lot of fun and all of that, and he's great. So the thing is that he that is a great way to start. Chemist Warehouse, that's a big business. There's a lot of red tape in that place.
Yeah.
So maybe I would just go in, I would say, hey, we'd love to do something with you guys, and we think that we could talk to a bit of a younger, different demographic and show them the importance of, skincare or hangovers or whatever.
I've got a skincare routine.
There you go.
Okay.
See, this is the thing. You've got to talk that stuff.
Okay.
And if people like us can do it, anybody could do it.
Okay. All right, this is good.
All right, let's do it. Okay, we're on here. So
here
we've got a
go,
contra
Tom.
deal.
Yep, that's good.
That's a great start.
Geez, we should do this stuff more often.
Like actually approach sponsors.
Yeah, on the podcast and put the pressure on them.
Try and commercialise the podcast that we've invested the last 2 years in. Yeah, we should do more of that.
Oh, here we go.
All right, let's go.
Let's call Tom. All right, let's see what happens here. Hopefully he answers.
Oh, he's a Saints man.
Mm.
I'm in leg.
Oh, Tom Connolly, how you doing, mate?
Mate, very well. Funny, I was literally just thinking about you. I was listening to Bigger Footy and heard the docile tones of yourself and Adam Patterson. And now you're calling me. What are the chances?
Docile. I'd like to think it was dulcet tones because docile would. Docile would put someone to sleep. But look, I'm actually calling on behalf of my other podcast, Honest Beers. Thank you for the Bigger Footy mention, though.
Thanks for that.
Look, as a Saints man, you would know that I had a bet on over the weekend for the Honest Beers Cup and managed to lose it, which is no huge shock because the Saints have caused us enough pain. And now I've got to try and get a couple of sponsors for Honest Beers, and I've got to do it live on the show. So I hope you're not too worried about me propositioning you like that. But I know that you're working at Chemist Warehouse, which is a family-run business, a great business that we obviously have a lot of respect for, tremendous growth. And we genuinely believe that we could help you guys out to try and reach, a younger demographic. There's so many products there that we feel like we could help with. And also, mate, you guys spend a lot of money on the NBL partnership, and surely we can get you more reach than the NBL can. So what do you reckon? Do you reckon there's something you guys could do for us?
I did see this bet and was hoping and praying that there wouldn't be a phone call in. But look, I'm happy to take the call, obviously. Look, send through a deck, send through some numbers, your reach, your CPMs, all that kind of stuff, and I'll let the powers to be at the top end have a look at it.
Okay, well, look, we've got a deck. We have started building one. We weren't exactly expecting to pitch to such a big organisation like yourselves, but I definitely feel like there's some synergies and there's some areas that we could work on. So I think I'll do that. Is just to confirm though, Tom, you wouldn't be leading me on right now. This isn't a send a deck and my person will come back to you, or is this a fuck off, Leggy? There's no chance.
No. This is. I'll legitimately have a look at it and pass it on, and we'll see what we can do, mate. We're all about bringing people together and growing the audience, not only for Honest Beers, but also the Chemist Warehouse brand. So send it through, mate.
Wow, that is spoken like a true professional, mate. I appreciate your organisation. We're very proud with how you handled that. You did not give away money foolishly, and you represented the business well. So appreciate that, mate. Look, before we go, just one sentence on the Saints from the weekend.
Sign Naz.
Yes. Yeah, that's all it's got to be. Give him whatever he wants. 20-year deal, $5 million a season. Look, thanks, mate. Drive safe. I can hear you on the roads on the way to the Chemist Warehouse office, no doubt. So, look, good luck, mate. We'll talk to you soon.
Thank you, Leggy. Speak soon.
See you, mate.
Bye.
All right, so at the start again, you can't. You just got to go with them.
This is why I'm not a salesman.
I know, and the thing is, nice little plug for your other podcast, which you're a guest
I didn't know that, but he just, it's good that he's listening to that. But,
absolutely. So, look, I think that there's a little bit that's probably expected.
I wasn't expecting Chemist Warehouse. Let's be real.
No, but the funny thing is, like, he saw that there was a bet.
Yeah.
And he saw on social what the bet was. And then when the phone, he's hoping and praying that wasn't the call about it. But indeed it was, Tom.
I actually should probably speak to him a little bit more.
There you go. So we will send them a
deck. We've got a deck.
Yeah.
It's it's probably a half-assed deck, but we've got a deck. There's a couple of logos and some photos of you and I. That's about it. last call. I'm happy that I've gone 2 for 2. That there's been answers. Imagine if no one answered me.
That's when we go and get the yellow pages out.
That's true.
That's the way we used to do it, mate. Call AAA Windows. Like, it's front of the yellow pages.
Yeah.
There was businesses.
It'd be great.
They literally had 3 A's at their start of their name to get at the top of these pages. It was madness back in the day.
I wish it was the end
of Wild West.
It's past the end of financial year. I wish it was late June and maybe someone goes, yeah, we've actually got a bit of money that we sort of need to get rid of now. That would have been nice. But anyway, so the next one is, or the last one, provided he answers, is Jason. Now he's at the Mount. He's part of the Mount Erica, but he's part of the whole group that's a big Marquez Lawn, Rising Sun, just been redone. Obviously, great pub, Union House. They've got about 7 or 8, I think. And but obviously, as you know, Michael, the Mount Erica is close to our hearts on this podcast. I feel like it'd be great if they were our a venue sponsor, a venue partner of Honest Beers, considering we've consumed so many in there. So
I reckon that's a great shout.
Yeah,
so that's the angle here.
That's the angle.
Okay, this is better. I'm feeling better about this
show.
Call. You have a structure. You have an angle you're going through. You say we will love to live shows. A venue partner, you're going to call them. They'll be official.
Yeah, it's a category. Category partner.
Category sponsor.
Yeah.
Okay, great. So we're going to do that. I think that the aim of this call, first thing is don't go in and both first 2 calls you have, when they've said something earlier, you've corrected them.
Yeah.
Well, let's not do that.
Okay.
I don't care.
I want to be authentically me, though.
If he answers the phone and says good afternoon, you say good afternoon, Jason, and you mirror the buyer.
All
right. So okay, and then just I think that's great. We don't need. I think that we don't need a hard. This is what it is. But it'd be great to get more than just send us the deck. But the venue sponsorship feels like a great area.
What if they said free beers this weekend?
Like what if
we did? Like that's better than nothing.
If imagine they just go, look, do you know what? You venue partner, you'll promote us, and whenever you guys come here, it's free food and drink. I would say stop talking. We will take that.
Yes,
and then that would
there's
be
no point. There's no point negotiating further. Okay,
that I would take. Can I be honest? I'd take that over a monetary sponsorship.
That'd be pretty good.
I know that the people, the higher ups here, wouldn't want to hear it. My wife would hate that. But the thing is, imagine that where we go. Look, it is what it is.
Yeah.
The only way we're going to get everything out of this sponsorship is that we have to go to this pub continuously and eat and drink. Bloody good food too.
Yeah.
And I reckon it may be the best. I reckon it might be the best wine list for a pub in Melbourne.
Yeah, it's definitely it's right up there.
I don't know.
Or Lamaro's technically a pub.
They're the other ones.
Yeah.
But Erica's about as good as it gets. Okay. So there you go. We would not have mentioned the other name if
this was a live podcast and he'd already heard it and then was expecting the call, he'd be like, boys, you've already done the work. Anyway, let's see how we go. Anyway, let's call Jace. He's a good man.
This is an exciting one.
Yeah, this is a good one.
This would be a good one for Contra.
Hope he answers. Ooh, 4 rings.
That's not good.
Jason speaking.
Oh, Jace, it's Leggy, mate. How you doing?
Oh, Leggy, how are you, mate?
I'm going really well.
Top of the morning, too.
Yeah, look, top of the morning to you as well, mate. Look, I just wanted to give you a quick call. Firstly, just to see how you're going, obviously, because I haven't seen you for a beer in at least a few weeks. And also,
it's been a couple of weeks.
Yeah, a couple of weeks since I saw you. But also, look, mate, we're doing a bit of a sponsorship drive for Honest Beers. But believe it or not, this podcast has been around for nearly 2 years, and somehow we haven't managed to locate a sponsor. And we just love your pub. We love the Mount Erica, and we're looking for a category sponsor and you being our official venue partner moving forward. We can do events there. We can drink free piss. We can do whatever it is that you want us to do. And not only,
I love your gusto, Leggy. I love your gusto.
And not only that, there's the Mount Erica, but I know you've got Marquee of Lawn, you've got Union House, mate. I've got to say, congratulations on the Rising Sun. I've been there twice now. The renovation looks fantastic. You've done an incredible job there. So, any of your venues, we're open to any opportunities that you may have for us.
I reckon we can find a slot here for you. I reckon with beer, we do our own beer, so I'm sure we can slot something for you. I reckon.
Oh, okay, yeah. Let's get this happening. I have to accept. I can't. So we will send. What do you need from us? We'll send you whatever you need to try and make this happen.
Or how about we catch up for a beer and taste the tasty treats that we offer, and then we can we'll nut out the details from there.
Nut out the details. That's such a great way to end this. It just sounds, it sounds right. It sounds like a perfect combination. Look, we'd be honoured to do that. We appreciate that. Let's try and have a beer in the next few weeks. Wally's telling me to get off the phone and wrap this up because I could fuck it up from here, but I don't know if I can. But yeah,
or maybe over a couple of beers we can fuck it up. I don't know.
Yeah, love that.
Let's see. Look, as a wise man once said, one hand moisturises the other. Let's do it.
Oh, you tell me which venue to meet you at because you got so many, and we'll make it happen.
Let's do it, the Rising Sun, buddy, the new one. It's been wonderfully received by the Richmond people. So let's, not the football club. Don't worry about the football club.
Don't worry about them.
No, don't worry about those stooges. No, but the area of Richmond. Let's do it.
Well, beautiful, mate. I know you're a big Bombers man. They got the Tigs this week, so hopefully they get over the line. And let's
have a couple of delicious pots at the Rising Sun before we go down to the game. I'm going down to the game, so
beautiful.
Let's do that.
Lock it in. Thanks, Jace. You're a good man. Appreciate you taking the call.
See you, buddy.
See you, mate.
Take it.
3 for 3. I mean, 3 calls that were answered.
Can we be honest? It's 2 from 3. 3 from 3 answered. There's no. I have very, very little confidence in Chemist Warehouse.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to happen.
That was like basically send it to But okay, so we now are going to. And the confidence there of not sending anything through, let's just meet in person. We do our better work in person. Well done, mate. This is just.
Take that. Have you been to the Rising Sun?
No, but are we going on Saturday?
You out of all the people I know.
All right, so fantastic.
You out of all the people I know.
Am I going to love it?
You will
love it. I'm going on Saturday.
Yeah, you will love it.
Okay, great. So let me just be clear on this. Bay Juice Contra.
Yep.
Venue / beer possible partner incoming.
Yeah, I've got an idea for how the Bay Juice thing could come alive.
Great. Well, don't spoil now. But this is fantastic. We'll talk off air. And then Chemist Warehouse.
Circle back. Do you see how he said nut out the details as well?
I love that.
Yeah, very good.
By the way, what are the chances? What are the odds? Put your betting bookmaker hat on. What is the price that deck will get sent to Chemist Warehouse?
It's 100 to 1. Because it isn't just press send on an attached email. It needs the deck to be completed, Michael, and it's been sitting on both of our laptops for a while. So that went really well. I'm happy with that. It's done, but we need to move on, and we've got honestly which it's back this week, and the reason why it's back is last week I had a rational or an irrational gripe, which was pretty rational.
I think it's rational.
Yeah, about people who walk their cats on a lead, and that led to a thought that you had for Honest List, where you were like, let's try and do 5 things in this list that irk you maybe a little bit too much and you should probably move on from. So what have you got?
I'm going to move on from all 5 of these things.
Great.
I'm going to move on, and I encourage others to do so.
Okay.
And there's some here.
Yep.
There are some here that are going to be harder than others to move on from, and there's some here that more and more of us have issue with. Do you want me to start with the broader ones or the more personal ones?
I want the personal ones.
Okay, great. So first thing is, and this does my fucking head in, but I'm going to try and get better. If I occasionally have to cop, somehow I end up watching it might be a morning show or a talk show or just a snippet of a show where they don't understand or care about sport, but there is a major event on, and so they feel like they have to talk to it and they have no fucking idea what they're talking about.
Yeah.
Like if they talk about sport on, say, The Project, not that I would watch it.
Well, you don't have to anymore.
What do you mean?
It's been canned.
Oh, awesome. When did that? You serious?
Recently, yeah.
Oh, bang. There you go. Well, that won't be a problem. But like, let's say I just tuned into.
Actually, so we're going to get a third guest on Honest Beers. It's going to be Waleed. He's going to be sitting in that chair there. Yes.
Oh, yep.
He's a big footy fan.
I'm not saying he isn't.
He's
Tigers fan.
Yeah, Tigers.
I know that he actually is. Yeah. No, but you get other people on those shows, and like you get people on the morning show. Like you got that show with Jimmy Barnes' son. The apple fell a long way from that tree.
Is that no?
Whatever it is, it's like the one after the morning one. I occasionally think you'll end up with something in the background, and like the soccer World Cup's on. Oh, the football World Cup's on. Is it? And then it'll just be like over the top. Like I know nothing about sport, and I'm going to make it known that I know nothing about sport, but hey, I'm so excited about the theatre tonight or whatever the fuck.
Yeah, they should just not cover it.
It does my head in. But then I've realised, I'm going, do you know what? It's much like getting frustrated at, say, reality television. I've entered their world.
Yeah.
I prefer they don't bring our world into theirs, but I've entered their world.
Yep.
And this is where I've spoken about other things. If someone enters our world and messes with the punting gods or something I've spoken about before, that's they're not, we will get involved. But I've entered their world. I'm going to let that go.
Yep.
So if I ever cop just the ridiculousness of people just not knowing they're talking about and deliberately, trying to make a big thing like I know nothing about sport, that's fine. If I'm in your world, I'm going to let that go.
Time to move on.
There you go. Time to move on.
Frozen.
Let's keep down the sport angle. This is something I think we could all do. It is within reason.
Yep.
But I'm going to stop getting frustrated with other people's sporting takes within reason. So if Kane Corns, and I love Kano.
Is this from from Saturday night though, with the Ross line?
Yeah, and I'll hear about that wasn't within reason. That's the whole thing. So Kane Corns said State of Origin's overrated as rage bait. It's not. That's ridiculous. But there was other things in there. So if you are a massive fan and you watch sport and you understand it, your take's your take. Yeah. Who am I? Ricky Gervais said once, he goes, how arrogant must you be in life to think that everyone has to agree with everything you say? And it's so true. So I'm not going to get outraged. So for example, the Australian cricket team, there will be plenty of people that watch more cricket, know more cricket about me, will have a different opinion to what we should be doing with the team. Who am I to then judge them on that, even if I think it's a little bit off? So I'm going to make a conscious effort.
Big from you.
To not get enraged by other people's sporting takes if that person is clearly somebody that loves sport like I do and is learned it and watches it. If I can tell they watch it, unless it's like Kendrick Perkins takes, which are just ridiculous and just so far off point. So I'll make sure.
This is progress. I feel like you're healing right before.
A lot of drive-bys today, I've just realised from me too. All right, next one. This is going to be a tough one. This is mine. People bringing their own birthday cake or cupcakes or something into the office when it's their birthday. And just using it as basically
a reminder
to everyone that it's their birthday.
Yeah. But trying to do it under the guise of I'm being generous.
I'm being generous. Come on, guys. Like honestly, because I'm thinking that there has to be something behind that.
Yeah.
There has to be something behind that you feel the need.
You didn't acknowledge me, so now I'm going to make sure you do acknowledge me.
Yeah. So I've as you probably know, I don't have my birthday listed anywhere. So you will not get a Facebook notification about my birthday. So everyone's always a bit surprised. And as blokes, we don't really record those birthdays and have them. So usually what the only thing will trigger will usually Kylie obviously knows. So, and I'm talking about, I reckon that all of my closest mates, I reckon there's only one or two that would even remember it because nobody remembers birthday, and there's no need to.
Well, I posted a story this year, and it was the day before. Do you remember that?
Yep. Yeah, that was good. So this thing, but you're in the hitting zone.
Kylie messaged me and was like, Leggy, it's tomorrow. And I was like, okay, cool. And I was like, do I just leave it up? And I was like, no, take it down.
But the whole thing is that people caught on. So I don't get it. Yep. I used to, when I was younger, get it. I used to make a bigger deal about it, but now it's like you just say. But the whole, that one for me, I don't think that's that irrational.
Nah,
but I am going to let it go. All right, two more. One that we could all definitely let go is in the car. Now, most things in the car are quite rational. People that, when there's two lanes to turn left and right at the end of a street, but there's no line, they sit in the middle.
Yeah.
Things like that.
So,
things that affect you, not waving, that is rational, by the way. You should say thank you if someone lets you in.
Agreed.
But one thing I saw the other day, it was a car in front of me that was 50, 60, maybe 70 metres in front of me, veered off to the left and just went down a street and didn't indicate. That doesn't actually affect me. And I'm like, well done, dickhead, you didn't indicate. In my head, I'm saying.
Yeah. But you shouldn't get angry about that.
But it doesn't affect me. So people that break road rules that don't affect you, I'm okay
with. Let it go.
I'm okay
with.
This is
healing. I'm healing.
That is it. And I think we could all learn from that.
Yep.
And the last one here is, and we'll all relate to this, is anybody else's drink order ever. Whether they want to order an orange mocha frappuccino, or whether they want to go and specifically ask for how many lemon wedges or how they want their vodka soda, or if there's something in their cocktail. It doesn't affect me. I've got to let it go.
That's harder for me to let go, but I appreciate you trying to let
I'm
going
to let go because it's again, it's just that you're looking at it going, that's ridiculous, but maybe it makes them happy.
Yeah, but if I'm doing a coffee order on behalf of people and I have to walk up and say, get me a decaf
different story.
Oat milk,
No,
I'm probably going to throw
Simon,
up.
this is if you were just overhearing the person. They have to be ordering their own, though. I will say that is.
Imagine
if
saying
I'm
like, hey, I'm
getting the
paying,
order,
but because your order is so shit, you have to go up and say it. And
Yeah,
then
absolutely.
I'll tap. Yeah, okay.
Absolutely. So there you go. So that's my list of things that I'm no longer going to get frustrated by.
Can I just say, back to the road stuff, you know when someone comes towards your direction and they let you know that there's a speed camera and they give you like the flashing lights? I'm always just like,
that's
almost
the
like
best.
want to honk the horn. I'm like,
Yeah,
I just want to embrace them. And be like,
I get around them.
You
keep doing that as a country. We need to keep doing that. That's
the Australian spirit, right?
Can
there.
I tell you that is one of the times it's hard. You don't always feel united with just strangers in this country anymore.
Yeah.
Like there's not a lot of that full unity, but that moment when you drive by and they drive by and it's like, yeah, mate, and there's always a little smile. It's like, yeah, we beat them.
It's good.
It is so good.
I love it. That was good. Stuff for you to let go, and I'm going to help and try and let go with some of those as well. Last segment is the betting segment before we go. I've got two things that I like this weekend. We're actually going pretty well with these betting segments. We should probably keep it going. But I like two bets, and they're in the first two games of the weekend. So it is Tuesday that we're recording. So Thursday night, Carlton versus Brisbane. The line has changed. It's at 26.5 now, but I got yesterday 25.5 for Brisbane to cover. I think that might be the bet of the round. No offense to the Blues fans out there, but they are battling at the moment, and I think Brisbane play Marvel really well. And Brisbane now, as we really get into the pointy end of the season, are going to fire up. So I think Brisbane, I got 25.5, but you can get 26.5 to cover that line at the Blues is just about as good as you can get. And the other bet that I've got is purely a head-to-head bet. It's $1.71. You can multi the Blues into this, or you can just take it yourselves. But I know they've won so many games in a row, and we're all expecting at some point they're going to lose, and the Suns really need to win this. But I think this is a Collingwood flex your muscles job. On a Friday night against the Suns, I think they've just been resting players, still side bottom. They're getting guys back. I just feel like the Blues go up to Metricon. If it's still called that, I don't think it is called that anymore. It might be something else now.
People first, which I believe is a insurer, which the complete opposite of people first.
Yeah, exactly.
Insurance.
Yeah, that's fraudulence in terms of that. But anyway, I think a few people might disagree, and they'll say, I really like the Suns at $2.14. But I really like Pies, and I think they get it done. Look, I said the head-to-head price. Considering it's $1.71, you're going to get 4.5 lines. So maybe just take the Pies to cover that. That's my two.
All right, so I'm going early with player props as I usually like to do. So just keep an eye on these. They won't all be out. We're filming early on a Tuesday morning. But very simply, there's three areas I want to play in, and I'm playing based on what teams allow in the matchup. Yep. So Gold Coast don't tag.
Yep.
Gold Coast allow to mids. Dacos will go up there and have a good night.
Both. The Dakai will probably both
I'm with Nick. I think he's absolutely fine. Now, the other thing is that Collingwood allow disposal, and they allow disposal to backs and outside. So you could see like a Noble or someone go well, but Dacos is my focus.
Yep.
So we're going Nick Dacos there. Happy to play 30. I'll probably play his line, but 30's great there. Then if I go further down the page, Richmond, we know, give up a heap.
Yep.
Zach Merritt against another team that don't tag and give up a heap. McIntosh hasn't really been going to people. Good luck if he tries to go to Merritt. But Merritt for me, for Essendon,
I'll just
Saturday night.
Validate that. I think he had 83% centre bounce attendance.
And he will be, yeah.
So he's back now.
So Merritt will be in there against Richmond. It matches up well. So I'll be taking his line and probably going to 30 as well. And then last but not least, we all know West Coast give up plenty of disposal to mids. So I'll be going Zach Butters coming off another good week for him. So that's the three. So it's three guys, a lot of disposals. Play them however you want, but they're the three I'll be doing. Another watch I will say, surprisingly, a team that is going really well, but he's giving up more goals to key forwards than anybody over their last 3 to 5 games is the Western Bulldogs. Adelaide have key forwards in spades, so maybe you do one of those where some bookies offer the market that these 2 or 3 players to combine for this many goals in Fogarty, Walker, and
Like it.
Thrillthorpe. And you could have a look at how you want to do that, or maybe you pick one out. But that's another little side one to play in. But yeah, mate, disposals for players to get good matchups for me.
Love it. Plenty for the audience to follow there.
Yep.
Look, Wally, I'm glad that episode's behind us. The bet is done. We can move on. Hopefully, it leads to some.
It sounds like we got two sponsors out of it. It's incredible. I thought we were no chance.
Yeah. The power of the cold call, the power of the sales, Michael. So look, fantastic. You've been great as always. Good luck to your team this weekend. Go Saints.
Go Hawks.
Chances are you're about to lose. For free and confidential support, call the number on the screen or visit the website.